Show us. That doesn't really work, does it? Have you tried? Oh, that's good. Oh, fantastic. Oh, fantastic. Better. So much better. What a fantastic, fantastic tune. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for young men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, there's no need to feel down. Young man, pick yourself off the ground. I've been Donald Trump. Thank you and good night.
Whoa. Good. That wasn't right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I'm your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. I really enjoyed these whole Mexican memes. Too much. Does that make me sort of racist? No, it does not. No, it does not. I have so declared it. So it shall be written. So it shall be done, etc., etc., etc. Sort of fascist, but not racist. He's a fascist. One guy who's definitely not at all a fascist, who will be joining me tonight, is one of your faves. I have so many faves, and you guys have so many faves. It's like, but one of your faves is this guy right here, Sin. Welcome back, my brother.
What's going on, man? Let's not spread dirty rumors about me not being a fascist. Okay, let's calm down. All right.
That was your week.
Oh, it was good, man. Busy. Like I told I told you, I moved into this new murder cabin, so I've been just getting settled, trying to get things done up here. It's been nice though.
How's that going? You have the hatchets around and stuff, like, you ready to go?
Tons of them, man. Tons of them. A limb fell the other night, and I was sitting here, and there's nothing around me, and I jumped up in the middle of the night. I was like, what the heck is that? Just a whole limb decided to fall out.
So when you say murder cabin, I'm trying to just picture this. So this is basically does it look cabin-y? Does it have like logs like you see from either the interior or exterior decor?
So the exterior looks almost like a normal house, but the interior is almost all wood paneling. My grandfather built it in the 90s. So yeah, and so I bought it from him. It's just kind of a creepy old house that I was somehow able to get in the past couple months. So I'm up here remodeling it, man. It's great though.
Yeah. All right. Well,
it's in the middle of the woods though.
And is it and so you're basically, there's no human for like miles, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, it's in a very, very small town with nobody around. So it's nice, man. I enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And do you share what state you're in, or that's
Yeah, I'm in Alabama. So
you're in Alabama.
Yeah.
All right. So if you drive by some house in the middle of nowhere,
and
you're on I'm telling my audience.
Yeah.
And it pretty much there's no security there at all, right?
No, none whatsoever. Yeah.
Push the lock right in.
Yeah,
club you over the head. I just want to make sure, like, so my audience knows what they're walking into here.
Yeah.
So what kind of security you have going on there?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of nice things in here yet, so we'll figure it out, man. Look, if y'all want it, you can have it. I don't care. You just come right on in. It'll be all right.
Sweet. All right. Sweet. All right. Well, so I have two main topics I really want to cover. One of them is a lot shorter than the other. There's the Katie Porter. Do you know who Katie Porter is?
Yeah.
You do? Because I didn't know much about this woman. I didn't know much about this woman. She is, and then there is the whole exposure of Antifa that was going on today, which was, to me, it was pretty eye-opening hearing Trump sitting around a round table with all these different folks who were basically breaking down, like, all the evidence as far as the existence of Antifa, who's funding Antifa, the challenges they face in trying to expose and cover the activities of Antifa. So there was a lot there, and I think that that the name Riot Inc, which I really kind of like, I think it's a good way of breaking it down and distinguishing it from being a constitutionally protected expression of a gathering for peaceful protest, right?
Yeah. Constitutionally protected form of expression, I think, is what you would say.
That's a good way of phrasing it. I'll work with that. Yeah. So that's not at all what they're doing. That's not what they're about at all. It's quite the contrary. It's specifically designed for mayhem and destruction and the occasional violence.
Yeah. It's a way to loot a few pairs of Jordans and some Lego sets, and then potentially cause some violence and destruction.
Right. So we're going to be breaking that down. But first, let's start with Katie Porter, just because
that's a California rep, right?
I think she's a California rep who's running to replace Gavin Newsom, because his terms are coming to an end. So she wants to step up there and become the new governor. And she's quite an eyeful. She is quite an eyeful. This is
beautiful woman.
Yeah, she's stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. So Katie Porter, apparently some of her staffers are so angry at this woman because she's just such a complete slimeball and abusive boss that they've been leaking. They've been leaking some of her abuses. I don't know if you've seen this. I'm sure some of the people in my audience have not yet seen this. So there's actually 2 different links I have. If you have more than this, I say God bless.
I think you've got all the ones I do. So
yeah. So the first one we have here is a relatively short clip.
Handsome broad.
This is a good shot. This is a good shot of this. And this is she. And the answer to your question is no. I looked into this. I've and not that I haven't done an in-depth, expose on this topic.
Yeah.
But the answer to the question is I think she was identified as female at birth. So look
at that makeup job, man. It's clownish.
It's really this is the whole lipstick on a pig thing.
It really is. Yeah. Silk purse, sow's ear. Yeah.
So this is her losing it.
State could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
Jesus. Holy Christ, lady.
Yeah, she wasn't too happy that one of her staffers was.
Wait, hold on. How did somebody even get this though? Why didn't she immediately delete this?
Someone from her staff leaked this.
I know, but my point is, like, if I was Katie Porter, right? Like, the way you treat me behind the scenes, you would never keep the recording. You always delete it afterwards.
Yeah. Maybe someone saved it and she had no idea. I assume she had no idea this was floating out there.
Not a smart broad.
Yeah. This is when it's like with between the personality, the looks, and the intellect, you sort of wonder how does this happen that she's like the front runner to become the next governor of California.
Joe, she'll win by a landslide, though.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
They'll come up with some reason, and they'll hand wave it away.
What's with lunatic women named Katie becoming governor? And like that's what had Katie Hobbs, Katie Porter.
Oh yeah.
This is unbelievable. Look at
it's an epidemic.
So this is her talking about electric vehicles.
All right.
It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't need to.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that.
Yeah.
Of my shot. State could lose.
Unbelievable.
I love that video though, because she was just coming to give her the right information. She's like, no.
Yeah,
I'd rather be wrong than have you in my shot.
Stay the F out of my shot. It's unbelievable. So this woman though, this is not the first time or only time that she's been. I hear the cigarette going. This is not the first or only time that she's been looked like a lunatic. I mean, check this sow. You mentioned a sow's ear, and this angle. This is criminal. The angle that they have her in here.
Oh no, ma'am! Frame your shot first. Like have them show you the shot. No,
they say
she
that
looks like a
sometimes-
lineman. That is a big broad.
Yeah, that's a pretty.
Oh, that is a
That's
big
intense.
woman. And I don't mean like overweight, just overweight. Like look at those shoulders compared to the other lady.
Yeah, I they actually say like sometimes pretty women will have like women around who are supposed to make them like women who are like okay looking. They'll keep women around who
the
are
designated
designed
ugly friend. I think. Is what they call it.
Yes. So this way, it's like you're contrasting. And this shot is almost cruel. This is.
They should have got a different reporter.
And the crazy thing is, if she knew how terrible she looked here, that might be a reason for her to blow up the interview. She's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I need to find an excuse to get out of here. Listen to how this lunatic, she's the reporter here, who's a left. It's CBS News. I mean, CBS News, they're so left leaning that they had to settle with Trump for favoring Kamala for like tens of millions of dollars for what they did in selectively editing a video because they love Democrats so much. This is friendly fire that she can't handle. Check this out.
Who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
So she's asking the question here. I missed the first 5 seconds.
Somebody called her Katie Porker in the chat. I just wanted to bring that
that's not nice. That's not nice. That's not nice. You guys are mean.
Stop bullying this man.
So she's like, they ask questions. What are you going to say to the 40 million people who voted for Trump? Like, how are you going to court those votes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And listen to how this entitled behemoth responds.
Percent of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump.
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%.
Look how she looks over to her staffer for confirmation. I'm the one who's right. She's the crazy person here. Like you're not completely insecure lunatic.
No, that's a bad still frame. Look at that face. Oh no.
It just gets worse.
I can't, man.
I feel almost guilty freezing it because I feel like I'm catching her in a bad moment.
Where's the good angle though, Joe?
I don't know. This is
all right, let's be nice. Let's be professional.
Yes, we're gonna be professional here. You're very professional. You're very professional, Sin, with that avatar and everything.
Anybody who didn't vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're
in a general election. Yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
Ooh.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you.
Are we sure this not a trans?
I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't.
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that.
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you.
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us.
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every candidate has
I don't care.
I can't handle follow-ups. I have my speaking point. You
Yeah.
have follow-up questions to what I just said. That's inappropriate. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. I'm not doing. How entitled do you have to be to think that, like, oh my God, you have audacity for asking me a follow-up to the stupid platitude speaking point that I just threw out there?
It is. Oh, I bet she's just exhausting to be around on a daily basis.
Oh my God, yeah. Can
Yeah.
you even imagine living with this?
No, I can't. No, sir. I
And pe-
would never. I have standards.
Like, I mean, just everything about this woman is so entirely off-putting. It's just so entirely off-putting. And the sad thing is, she happens to likely be right. The left just
Mhm.
doesn't care. They don't care how off-putting, how asinine, how entitled, how much of a jerk you are. You just have that stupid blue D by your name, and it's like, okay, you can look like a whiny, harpy, crazy lunatic who screams at your staff, belittles people, and they don't care. That it's nothing to them. And
Imagine her showing up to your door to ask for your vote. I would be terrified and just tell her yes and then run inside.
Oh my gosh, this it just, and it doesn't get better.
I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And we're
Porter,
just going to circle around.
I am an
I have
investigative
never had to do this
reporter.
before, ever.
You've never
God,
had
her
to
hairline.
have a
What was that?
Her hairline. I just noticed her hairline. Oh no, ma'am, that is so unfortunate. Sorry.
Professional.
I'm so sorry.
Professional. You're being professional. I'm trying to train you how to be professional. Okay.
You're exactly right. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have made a comment about her hairline. It
Yes.
is, all right. So
Right. No, she looks like she's about to start charging this reporter. she's in position here, like she's tackling down there or something. She's taking this woman down.
conversation with
To end
a
an
reporter.
interview.
Okay,
Oh,
but
so what
every
was
other
that?
candidate has done.
Or ever.
You've never had to have a
end an
conversation
interview.
with
To end
a
an
reporter.
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make.
So you're not going to answer questions from.
Doesn't she seem very much like a leader here? Like she's very much a lead. You can tell the leadership skills are just shining through every pore, and there are so many pores.
So is Kim Jong-un. All right, ma'am, calm down.
She's a leader in every sense of the word. Yes, this is leadership right here.
Orders? Okay, why don't we
Should
go
be leading
through?
a
I will
football team.
continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you. And I don't want.
Oh no.
I don't
Oh, it's already on camera, honey. Maybe she doesn't realize how cameras work. Maybe
so. I don't think so.
How do you? I don't want this on camera, lady. Like, what do you think you're doing? What do you think the whole mic thing they attached to you before you sat down there was about? Like, what did you think was gonna? Do you think you're not rolling now? Do you think they just shut it off? You think there's like a little mute button there? I don't want this on camera. Yeah, you should never want to be on camera.
to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting, it's a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just on the responses to that question. And I've asked everybody the same follow-up questions.
That face. Oh.
It is wild. Like, look,
it's
man.
Crazy. It's crazy that these people get into positions. Like, what about her do you think was so charismatic that she's in the position she's in now? Because you could find a woman like this. You can find, it's not just women, by the way. There are plenty of men who are D-bags also.
Yeah, of course.
But you could find people like this at like on any corner. You go into any chat room, you'll find one of these.
Oh,
like how is
there's
it?
one everywhere. Yeah.
So how does she rise up to become like the front runner? That's
Abuse, physical abuse from the bottom to the top. She seems like the type of person that just nobody ever wanted to deal with, so they pushed her on. You know what I mean?
So you think she bullied her way into becoming to getting whatever she got?
In a way, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it seems like that type of person.
Maybe it's just she's a leader.
She's a leader. Yeah.
In every pore is a leader. Yeah. So,
man.
Katie Porter, next governor of California.
Is it bad that I hope that she wins just so we get more? She's not a leader. She's an eater.
That's pretty funny. That was pretty funny. What were you saying? Was it bad that what?
I hope she wins so we get more of these.
We get more of
interviews.
These clips.
Oh yeah, that would be a boom to my YouTube channel. I would watch these on a daily basis. They're fantastic, man.
Yeah, no, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She's great.
You could do a whole segment once a week, catching up with Katie. Oh man, what are you talking about?
Right. Yeah, there's a thing where she abused her ex-husband. I saw something on
in the
this.
chat. Somebody said something about through boiling hot potatoes.
Yeah, I actually want to find that. Give me a moment here. You entertain the folks at home. In fact,
what's going on, chat? How are y'all doing? You know,
we got one of these up here. Hail Joe.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need?
I don't want them. Yeah, I know.
Lord.
Yeah, so Porter.
Heard Karen Bass should make a great team. Politics is a popularity contest, and part of popularity comes with attractiveness. So when you see people like her, I automatically think like how, like you asked a second ago, how in the world did they get there? And then to me, it's difficult to see her there because you can't be unattractive and uncharming at the same time and be successful like that. It baffles the mind. It boggles the mind a bit.
There's just nothing appealing. Like what are people like latching onto here?
Yeah.
That she's supposed, I think she went to Yale.
Oh.
So there you go.
But still, tons of people go to Yale.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of people go to Yale. Matthew Felty telling me, hey Joe, check your email when you can. God bless. I will try to do that. Thank you. I'll try to check my email for that. Thank you, Matthew. So this is the mashed potatoes thing.
Oh no.
Former husband of Representative Katie Porter said the California Democratic frequently abused him verbally and threw toys, books, and other objects at him during their marriage, even pouring scalding hot mashed potatoes on his head during a fight, according to divorce records.
Man alive.
She actually like secured a husband. Like that's the most shocking thing of all.
There's hope out there for everyone, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah. No, you see.
I wonder how long he stayed with her after the potato incident, though. That's my question. Yeah.
Matthew Hoffman, who filed for divorce from Porter in 2013, sent a request for a restraining order dated April 30th of that year that he was routinely called an effing idiot and effing incompetent by his rage-prone spouse, who also shattered a glass coffee pot on their kitchen counter in March 2012 when she felt their house wasn't clean enough.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
She seems like a freaking lunatic.
I bet she's fun at parties, though, right?
Yes.
That's how she got there. She's just,
yes.
Katie is she has problems. Man, is she fun at parties.
You catch her on a good day. She's really pleasant.
Really pleasant.
Really, really, really pleasant.
Just don't look at her directly in the eyes. She thinks that's a sign of you trying to be dominant.
Wesley, the Milli Vanilli of news, says one of her teachers at Yale was Elizabeth Warren. She obviously learned something. Yeah, apparently.
No.
Yeah, I have my own issues with Liz Warren. Don't get me started on her. I don't like Liz Warren.
No, wait, you don't like Elizabeth Warren? I don't believe a word of it, Joe. Telling stories, man.
I can't.
No, it's not.
I can't. Don't get me started on Elizabeth Warren. I've she there's something about her voice which I find like I get like that whole whole, what was that reporter from Mary Hart? I have this thing from her voice where like I just sort of feel like my nerves and my skin are popping off. Like
you didn't like her Everyman video she made several years ago where she like was popping a beer top and
just like a regular gal,
just a regular gal.
Sometimes me and my husband love to pop open a beer.
Yeah, we drink a cold one, you know.
Yeah, we
go to the powwow, you know, Chief Elizabeth.
Oh God. Elizabeth
Joe
Warren.
doesn't like Native Americans, somebody says. It's your racism, Joe. First Mexicans, now Native Americans.
It is. Yeah.
We have to work on that.
You know, back in my early days, when I had my OGs will remember that I had this incident once where I had a fight with my own chat.
An oopsie. Is that what we call
I
it?
had a fight with them where I actually ended up having a follow-up after I went on this whole thing, and I'll tell you what it was. But I basically was explaining that a healthy society is growing, developing, achieving, accomplishing, and you can see different societies across the globe who had genuine, like, transformative growth. If you look back through the ages,
a boom of time. Okay,
right. I mean, putting aside the massive, you know, massive growth spurts, you know, that everyone knows by the Greeks and the Romans and things like that. What I'm saying is, in the Middle East, the Muslims had massive accomplishments with medicine and the sciences, mathematics. Yes, exactly. You know, in the Orient, there was tons of achievements and growth and in arts and all these different things. And when I said that's reflective of a healthy society, that's part of what a society should be looking for. That's a mark of growth. That mark of growth is a sign of a healthy society. And I said, given that perspective, if you take out the Incans and the Mayans, right, as their own separate culture, which they were very, very accomplished, and some of the stuff they developed was very, very accomplished and had showed real growth. That Native Americans were a very unhealthy society.
You're saying the mound societies were possibly.
Joe was there. This guy here, number 6, deal with it. He was there. He remembers it. Yeah. So I said, because I said, whenever they got here, I don't know when they got here. I don't know what happened. You know, no one knows how the first Native Americans got here. Did they walk across the Aleutian Strait? How did, you know, come through Alaska? Did they sail here? No one knows how the first Native Americans got here. But whenever they got here, it had to be, you know, after brick was invented. It had to be, because brick has been around literally for roughly 4,000 years.
Got you. Yeah.
And they didn't even have brick.
But they built mounds, Joe.
And my point was that they were a regressive society. That's not a healthy society. And that they were actually, you know, so people are complaining, like, this was back when everyone, at the time I was talking about this on the air, there was all this, you know, talk about like the colonialism of America and, you know, how evil that was. And I was like, they were not a healthy society. They were just existing. They weren't living. They weren't growing. They were just existing, like no different from buffalo or beaver.
Got you. Yeah.
So that's not a human society. Human society is growth. And they didn't have that. And I had so many people in my chat who were yelling at me that I was being racist. You know, I hate Indians or whatever. Yeah. It's not being racist. I'm just calling. It's not being racist to say, hey, look, this is just what was happening here. Yeah. And I definitely credit the Incans and the Mayans that they had, you know, calendars and they had you know, different, you know,
but
pyramids
they
that they're building
pretty quickly. You know what I mean? The Mayans.
You're saying after they were basically,
Yeah, they regressed. So you're saying to me that a leap in society wasn't the loincloth. So that doesn't count. The mounds don't count.
No, that's not. I wouldn't call that a leap. They had creative names, you know, chief running moose and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
they were very.
I don't consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think I do agree with you.
So by that, I was saying by that yardstick, they were not a healthy society, and I had them yelling at me. I actually called it the attack of the beavers because I had 6 people on camera with me, and they that for a follow-up show because so many of them were mad at me and wanted to vent at me more. I was like, all right, let's have it out. You know, there's a whole episode I did with people yelling at me that I like basically, you know, am not giving enough credit. And they would come back invariably they would come back to the Incans and the Mayans. I was like, no. Those are separate
Excluding
societies.
them who regressed dramatically, and disappeared off the face of the earth, basically. I could see that. They never progressed. But technically, Native Americans never had a society. They just had social groups, right? So they had their one little in groups. They never formed like an actual network because
many
they
of
were
whom were
always
very
boring.
many of whom were very peaceful, and many of whom were violent
and very intelligent too. But they just never progressed past the
some of
stage
them.
like,
Some of them were very skilled. My father, who was an historian, like he was fascinated at some of the abilities that they were able to develop. Do you know that certain Native American tribes, they had an ability not just simply to ride bareback, but that when they would attack, when they would get in when they were warring with other tribes or with or I guess even with white colonists that there were settlers, that they basically were able to latch their legs around the neck of a horse while going at full gallop
in a loincloth.
Forget about that for a moment. Get past the loincloth.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to find a marker of society. Okay, come on.
No, but this is a remarkable skill I'm about to describe to you.
Gotcha.
That while at a full gallop, they could like basically latch onto a horse at full gallop with their legs, lean back under the belly of the horse, fire an arrow, and hit like at 30 yards.
Yeah, that's an Alabama skill.
You couldn't. Oh, I'm sure you got that nailed, right? You got that nailed. That is a ridiculous.
That's very
level
talented.
of skill.
Yeah, very talented. That's an amazing level of skill. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Still not a marker of society, though.
It's not. No, it's not. That's not.
That's a circus trick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a circus trick. And I guess if you consider street carnies like, a growing society, then you can say that. So were the Sioux Indians, but
true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Roll Tide, Reagan? Yeah.
One old guy's opinion says perfectly fitted for California foot soldier for Antifa. Incas, Mayans, and Aztecs, the unlived. They unalived more tribes to their gobs than the colonizers did for land ownership. They were brutal. Yeah, really, really brutal.
Well, they needed a good corn crop, man. Well, maize, right? So you have to sacrifice a few people, and then
I don't know what the difference between corn and maize is. By the way, all I know is no, we don't know, right?
No, I really don't. No, I've never looked into it at all. I've never even cared.
I don't know. You're younger than me. There used to be this commercial for Land O'Lakes butter. Where
before they took the Indian lady off of it. Yeah.
And they had the Indian lady there, like, offering up something to one of her gods.
Yeah.
And there was this person in the background screaming maize. And that's the only time I ever heard that word in my life. There was some talk there about corn or something.
It's a type of corn, for what I know.
Is that
someone in
the chat will know.
I hope so.
Yeah. They were a retired community with their mobile teepees. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not going to kid you that some of them were really brutalized. The Cherokee Indians are completely peaceful Indians. I happened to do a report on them when I was in 3rd grade because I had a fascist teacher who basically gave me a reading list of like college material for me to like basically research. I was the only one who did that stupid report, I think. But I did a report on the Cherokee and their Trail of Tears. So if you're unfamiliar with the Cherokee, they actually were forced by there was a decision, I think John Marshall wrote a whole decision, which was a pretty racist decision from what I recall, where they basically compelled them to march like 1,000 miles west.
From my state, Mississippi, all the way to what? Ohio, I believe.
No, they went
Oh,
to Oklahoma. They
Oklahoma?
went west, Oklahoma. Yeah, they went
Yeah,
to
was
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma? Yeah.
hmm
So yeah, we learned about that in school. We still have
Yeah,
a Cherokee reservation not too far from me in Tennessee. So
really.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't even know that Alabama was not too far from Tennessee. So there you go.
literally right next to it. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. See, you learn things on this show. You don't think you didn't even know where we're gonna go next.
You're-
Those were Comanche Joe from Texas. Brutal. Comanche were very, very brutal. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, more sacrifices to the corn gods, I guess.
Yeah. They didn't use horses until Europeans brought the horse to the Americas. So they learned that pretty fast, right?
Yeah,
Right?
talented. See,
Talented, but still not great. What I'm saying is that's only that so the only growth they actually had was, they're painting with
was
the
in
colors of the
fashion with the
wind.
loincloths.
I guess
and
they
then
were able to
talent
sing,
on horse.
can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Pocahontas
That's
was
true.
able to sing that song. So I guess that's some level of talent, right?
It has
'Cause-
to be, yeah. I mean, the Native American singing, while it does sound like a lot of noise. Like it is kind of pretty at the same time. So
Yeah. I had, it's funny, a conversation comes full circle because I once had it for an opening here. A video that someone had made a meme when Trump exposed Liz Warren as being like
Chief Elizabeth, I like to call her. Yeah.
yeah. So someone made a meme of her like being the lead character in a song singing "I'm an Indian too," and it was freaking hilarious.
I've always wanted somebody to do that. The single tier Indian crying about trash in the rivers and stuff. I've always wanted somebody to take Elizabeth Warren's face and sort of AI her on it with a single tier. Nobody's ever done it for me, and I'm not that talented at doing computer stuff. So
This is
if
totally
somebody can get that to me at
this will
Andy and
happen.
Aristotle on Twitter, that'd be fantastic. I would love all of you forever.
Yeah. It's not a Good Logic is not an Indian name.
It is an Indian name. Yeah.
You need to have some sort of animal in there in order for it to be an
Sits
Indian
with
name.
shekels.
Okay. I don't know what that means. Johnny Reb says,
It's your
Joe,
Indian
did you
name.
see the leftist terrorists with bombs in a tent outside the D.C. Cathedral that the Supreme Court session started was to be honored at? I did not see that. I didn't hear anything about this. Did you hear anything about that?
I think I read it in the list of stuff I had, but I didn't click it and read into it. No.
And Breck Nichols asks, how can Katie Porter be the front runner for the Dems? Because it's California. Yeah, but my question is like, why her? Like, there has to be something about that behemoth, which basically is like, this is our gal. Like, this is the one this is the horse we're gonna ride.
It's either that or she's got blackmail on somebody, right?
Maybe she just knows how to butter the right people up or something. Because people like her,
I bet she knows a lot about butter. Okay, you're supposed to be professional here. All right, Joe.
I was being silly. Look at you. I can't even give you anything to like. Gosh.
Let's calm it down. All right, she was mad about the Land O'Lakes lady.
She was definitely mad about that. All right, so we should move on to the roundtable meeting that Trump had.
Yeah, of course. I'm fine with
there
that.
there was a lot there. There was a lot of different clips there that I want to go through about basically Antifa. Trump held a roundtable meeting today, which was, there was a lot of dialogue there between various right-wing social media folks, which I never get invited to these things.
I wonder why. We're gonna
not.
have to get you a bigger channel so we can get you on there.
I think so. I'm gonna have to like crawl out of my shell. I'll give
you that cynic bump. Don't worry about it, Joe. We'll get you there, buddy.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. That's why I have you here. I'm trying to do the whole Katie Porter buttering you up like you're a hog or something like that.
So he met with right-wing influencers to discuss this entire issue.
Yeah. about how Antifa is basically a menace to society and that it's basically here to destroy America. So there's a lot of clips here that I plan on running through.
Let's do it, man. I'm here with you.
Yeah. So this is we're gonna come out firing here by
All right.
covering the naming of names of various people who are funding Antifa. So let's break that down here. Let's start this up.
Thank you very much. Great job. Impassioned. That's important because you should feel like that. Please go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you for having us here and bringing together this panel of brave journalists, everybody on this side of the room. And no one can speak to the violence better than these people here. So I think we know that this is not just a story about violence and chaos, as you alluded to, Mr. President. This is a money story. And at the Government Accountability Institute, my colleague and I, Peter Schweitzer and our team, we followed the money, and we followed it to the top of what we call the protest industrial complex, Riot Inc. And we found a network of NGOs. It's not just the Soros network, the Open Society network, it's other funding networks, the Arabella funding network, the Tides funding network, Neville Roy Singham and his network, Foreign Cash. And it's also big left-wing funders. Some of them are not citizens of this country. Mr. Hans-Jörg Wyss of Switzerland. They're pouring money into this entire ecosystem. And so I want to share 3 money facts with you about what we call Riot Inc. Number one, like any corporation, Riot Inc has many divisions. It doesn't just have the Antifa boots on the ground division. It has PR divisions. It has marketing divisions. It has a very well-funded legal division to get these boots on the ground back on the streets as quickly as possible. But it does have those investors that I mentioned. Number two, we have identified dozens of radical organizations, not just the decentralized Antifa organizations, but dozens of radical organizations that have received more than $100 million from the Riot Inc investors. These would be the...
There's a lot of money pouring in here.
Yeah. Give me a little bit of it, please.
Yeah. No, this is a very, very well-funded attack on America.
Yeah.
Warrior groups. These would be the groups that advocate for calling good, honest Americans fascists.
And the frightening thing is a lot of it is coming from overseas. It's not even America, right? I mean, it's foreign money being used to help finance our own self-immolation, you know? Whereas, and that's to me that it feels as if we're under attack. You know, it feels as if like there's an objective here of like basically trying to subvert America from being a healthy society, and you have people from across the globe who are helping finance this. So, yeah. Anyway,
etc. And then 3, I think the most shocking thing is that we have found that more than $100 million in U.S. taxpayer funding has flowed into these funding networks, including at least $4 million to these very groups themselves, not just Antifa types, but there was an event in Atlanta called Stop Cop City. Over 60 rioters were charged with domestic terrorism.
I remember that.
These groups received money for that.
where was that? Do you remember?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Not too far from where I am. Yeah.
60 people arrested.
Yeah.
At this peaceful protest.
From both the billionaire class as well as taxpayer money. So one other thing, this money helps fund
I'll be right back, Joe.
decentralized crowdfunding platforms. These are ways that Antifa, the John Brown Gun Club of Elm Fork, which had links to that attack on the ICE facility, the Socialist Rifle Association, and just because they don't have LLCs or EIN numbers doesn't mean they can't get paid. Some of these funding platforms, crowdfunding platforms, are funded by this network that we call Riot Inc. So again, I want to thank you for your leadership, for the whole cabinet's leadership on this. We're going to keep following the money and appreciate everything you're doing, sir.
Do you know the name of any of the funders? Do you know the names? Because if you do, I'd like you to give them to Cash or Pam.
Absolutely.
Or Christy.
Yeah, we'll do that.
As soon as you can. That's all of you. Because you probably know the names after a certain period of time. You tend to find out. But these are people that do not have good intention for the country. And that's treasonous, probably. So very important, if you could do that, it would be great. Nobody would know better than you. You'll figure it out.
So there you go. There you go. We're starting to actually, it feels like we're starting to actually make some headway into exposing the people who are behind this, basically tearing America down. And this is just the start of it. Carolyn Levitt was talking about how we're going to be digging even deeper into this.
Well, there's been these rumors forever, man. That all this funding, like people have whispered about it for.
We always keep
2020.
We always keep hearing about George Soros. That's that's the one we always hear about, as if he's the only one. And I feel like he's probably a very significant cog, but just one cog of potentially hundreds, if not thousands, who are. He's not doing this himself.
The only one that wants to destabilize America. There are tons of people who want to be larger players on the world stage, and with America being the biggest boys on the block, there's tons of people out there that want to do that. There's so many money-making opportunities for us to fail. So,
yeah.
Groups, particularly Antifa, is certainly something the administration is looking into aggressively. And the federal government has never really been mobilized or tasked with doing that. So we're kind of kickstarting that into gear. The FBI is working on it alongside the White House's Homeland Security Task Force. We have our intelligence community looking into this as well. And even the Secretary of Treasury is involved with these matters since they are financial in nature. And we will continue to get to the bottom of who is funding these organizations in this organized anarchy against our country and our government. It's a question the American people have been begging the answer for many years, and we're committed to uncovering it. And when we do, I'm sure you'll be one of the first people to know. The financial
So Scott Bessent is going to be joining in on this, and that's and it seems as if we're actually starting to get to the bottom of this situation here. It's not something that we're going to really, unearth over the next 2 to 3 months. But I feel as if, we're still in year one of the Trump administration, and I feel as if this is it's encouraging that he's being bold enough to actually take steps to say, let's put an end to this.
Yeah, we have to, first of all. And I think we're at the tip of the iceberg, to be honest with you. I think there's going to be way more.
Not even the tip. Not even the tip.
So
I agree with you.
Barely scratching the surface there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got a whole bunch more from this conference today that I really want to get through here, because some of the points they made was just
the
excellent.
Asian guy not wearing a tie bothers me, though. Something about that. I'm describing the person. Not okay. You cannot like Native Americans, but I make one Asian comment.
I didn't say I did.
Shame.
Okay. I need. I'm going to bring this up in the context. I'm going to bring this up in the context of this chat here. Oh, this comment here was saying from Adrian saying, "I'm shocked you're so racist against my people. I'm descended from Wampanoag, Sachem, Massasoit. Chief at the first Thanksgiving with my other people from the Mayflower. The squirrels are disappointed, Joe." It's not that I dislike or have an issue. I don't. I'm simply calling reality as reality is. If I see someone who's trans and I say that person is their original gender, and I'm not, it's not like I dislike that person. I don't dislike that person. I'm simply saying that's just, that's a man.
Yeah.
So if I see a society, it's not that I have an issue specifically with Native Americans. I'm sure that, there are countless awesome Native Americans. That doesn't mean the society that they had here that was going on here 400 years ago was a healthy society. That's all. That's the only thing I'm saying.
I'll give you an example, right? You Googling Katie Porter transgender wasn't bigoted. It was research. Right?
Yes, I feel like you're going through my Grok search history here. No, I'm just saying that doesn't. So it's not a matter of being. But when you're calling out, like, I don't know why it is.
I was describing the gentleman that wasn't wearing a tie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? All right, I'm gonna leave it. You can be right this time.
All right. Lily Smith says, Joe, you're 3K from the last time I was able to watch you regularly. Congrats. Thank you. Keep building. I love this guest with you. He has opposite personality, as in I try to bring intellect and wisdom and insight, and I bring sin on here.
I make a mess of it.
Yeah, so anyway, so let's hear from the tieless Asian guy, because I think he actually has some insight to add to the
He could
conversation.
have wore a nicer T-shirt at least. I'm just saying. Put it out there.
Mr. President, thank you again.
Thank you.
My name is Jonathan Cho. I am an investigative reporter for Frontlines Turning Point USA. I'm also a senior fellow at Discovery Institute in Seattle. And I cover far-left extremism as well as the homeless drug crisis in America. And I find it oftentimes those worlds intersect. And hot off the presses, what I wanted to bring to your attention today is a report from a Capital Research Center here in DC in conjunction with Discovery Institute. They just put out this study right now. And what it shows is that Antifa is heavily embedded in the homeless and housing nonprofit sector. In many cases, the homeless industrial complex is running cover for Antifa. Antifa is benefiting from American tax dollars, and they're essentially being used as the muscle. Let me give you an example. There's a group called Stop the Sweeps in many US cities right now. They get in front of encampment sweeps. What they're doing quietly is they're bringing in Antifa militants to manufacture a crisis to make the police look bad. Another group right now that is behind Antifa and
It's crazy. It's crazy. I think that they're far more organized than we realize. I think they're far more organized. I think
they their whole thing is to not have one central location, so they can keep their organization looking disorganized. It's all a smoke screen.
Yeah, yeah. But I had no idea. So that's what I'm saying, is this guy is actually bringing some new information here. I had no idea that Antifa had any sort of relationship as far as trying to build, inroads in the homeless community for the purposes of trying to utilize, I guess their natural position to being in a place to actually insert themselves into a potential conflict. And yeah, I mean, that to me, and the idea that we're actually using what he calls the homeless industrial complex to try and further their aims. It shows you how there's really no limit to where these people are going to go.
Working with Antifa very closely based on the research that we have right now that we're going to give to you and your team are the Democratic Socialists of America, also known as DSA. Again, these far left progressive groups tend to be aligning themselves with Antifa. So finally, in closing, what I wanted to thank you again, Mr. President, is that a few months ago, earlier this year, you put out an executive order on homelessness and the drug addiction crisis in America, and that's sent the entire homeless industrial complex on the run. You have absolutely moved the needle and changed the game. But what's also come out, again, is that there is a connection, a deeply embedded connection with the homeless housing nonprofit game in America, connected to Antifa and the far left activists. And finally, I just wanted to say that all of our resources at Turning Point USA and Discovery Institute are at your disposal, and we will continue again to carry on the legacy of Charlie Kirk. He would have wanted us to pursue and chase the story.
Nice.
That guy doesn't need to wear a tie. Okay.
All right. He proved me wrong. I still wish he would have wore a nicer T-shirt.
He didn't need to. He doesn't need to wear a tie. He's bringing it.
He did a good job. Yeah, I like the anger in his voice. It activated me. I want to go out and punch homeless people now.
Yeah,
that's what he was.
No,
that's what he was saying, that they're Antifa.
No, he's not saying all homeless are Antifa.
Okay, all right.
He's saying that we need to be aware of the fact that when it comes to funding homeless and things of that nature, to make sure that funding doesn't get twisted and used by Antifa in order to provide muscle for their riots.
They're weaponizing disenchanted people, people that have, very little option in this country. And they're getting them to do things that they probably shouldn't have. Take this, bum, wayward one.
can't bring you anywhere.
That was the chat. I was just reading the chat that time.
I can't take you anywhere. God.
I'm
All right.
trying to be a patriot, okay?
I'm going to bring us back on point here.
Let's do this. Let's get
This
back.
it actually opened up with Trump, so maybe we'll start with this.
It should be clear to all Americans that we have a very serious left-wing terror threat in our country. Radicals associated with the domestic terror group Antifa that you've heard a lot about lately, and I've heard a lot about them for 10 years. And other far-left extremists have been carrying out a campaign of violence against ICE agents and other officials charged with enforcing federal law, carrying out a campaign of violence. In Chicago, anarchists have surveilled at least 4 local ICE facilities and posted diagrams of the buildings online, meaning nothing but bad, accompanied by photos of specific ICE agents that they're targeting, one in particular who's a top person and a great patriot. In July, approximately a dozen Antifa-aligned militants stormed the ICE facility in Texas and then lured officers out of the building before firing dozens of rounds at police. They were crazy, frankly, shooting one Texas officer in the neck. And in Portland, Oregon, Antifa thugs have repeatedly attacked our officers and laid siege to federal property in an attempt to violently stop the execution of federal law. Everything we're doing is very lawful. What they're doing is not lawful. And what the governor and the mayor of, as an example, you could say of Portland, and you can say certainly of Chicago, it's not lawful what they're doing. They have to be very careful. In addition, 2 weeks ago, radical left terrorists in Dallas conducted a sniper attack on a local ICE facility, killing 2 people and leaving behind a note that read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents some real terror." That's bad. This attack came the very same month that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a far-left extremist who inscribed the words, "Hey, fascist, catch," meaning catch the bullet, onto the bullet shelf itself. The epidemic of left-wing violence and Antifa-inspired terror has been escalating for nearly a decade. At universities, Antifa has organized riotous mobs to attack campus speakers. I see it all the time. And these are agitators, anarchists, and they're paid. And you'll find that out. You'll be finding it out very soon. You should see what we have on these people. These are bad people. These are people that want to destroy our country. We're not going to let it happen. They've used armed gangs to assault local police in cities nationwide, and they've attacked journalists reporting on their crimes. So the journalists that report on their crimes, don't worry, you're very safe. I hope that's not going to turn you around, but they have been very threatening to people, but we're going to be very threatening to them, far more threatening to them than they ever were with us. And that includes the people that fund them. Probably some of the people I know, some of the people I dine with. But if they do, they're in deep trouble. So we're going to be looking very strongly at the people that are funding these operations. When you see the signs, and they're all made out of a beautiful, beautiful paper, beautiful, nice, stiff, very expensive paper, with beautiful wood handles, all the same color. They come.
That's how you know that's the tell. Yeah, that's the tell that if you ever see a rally where you see those organized, where you see that everyone's got the same type of sign, or the same structure or whatever, they all have a consistent theme to them in either messaging or style, and they're on, they're printed in shops. That's not organic.
No.
You're not looking at an organic protest. This is a protest which is being funded by someone for the purposes of trying to create instability. That's the objective.
I have a question though. Where does this lead some of the guys that were in like the Proud Boys and things like that were agitated by Antifa, which is now a terror group, right? That's what they're trying to mark them as. Where does that leave those guys that are in prison for fighting these people?
Where is it? What do you mean? As far as
I mean, if they were fighting what we now deem as a terrorist organization, right? Wouldn't they technically be patriots?
I think I always would have classified them as patriots, but with respect to their individual, with respect to their individual charges, for the most part, I doubt it would have much of any impact on that.
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, that particular incident where you have a scuffle between two people, if someone is adjudicated to having been in the wrong, they don't become in the right because the person who was there was funded to be there. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, yeah, that's just the reality of the situation. Although, frankly, I do wish that he would sort of try to revisit instances like that. And I'm sure I'm sure that I'm not the first person to call that to this administration's attention about various people who were, you know, who
Who saw
basically,
what nobody else wanted to see for a long, long time.
yeah,
Since 2014, 2015, I would say.
yeah.
Come from very expensive printing machines. These are not people that write out their signs in a basement that believe in something. These are paid anarchists. At least 3 of these courageous journalists have personally been victims of Antifa attacks. Andy No has been repeatedly beaten by Antifa thugs for his work in and Andy is a very serious person too, I have to tell you. I've been watching.
Just want to say hey to Jim Tells. You guys should make sure to check out his channel. I'm probably going to have him on tomorrow. My schedule now has basically been where I have Sin on Wednesday and Jim on Thursday. So I'm probably going to have him join me tomorrow, depending on his schedule and how that works out. But and I thank you for rating the stream. Appreciate that, brother. So
watching him for a long time. Is Andy here? That's what I thought. Hello, Andy. I thought that was you. You're looking better than you do out on the streets, huh? You look much better. It's nice to have you.
This guy, Andy No, that you see on the screen here, he's had cups of cement thrown at him.
Yeah.
Again, had like just massive eye welts and things like that. Like the guy he's been on the front line. He's the creator of a website called The Post Millennial, which I actually will get a lot of my coverage from. And I highly recommend you all check out The Post Millennial. This guy is a fierce battler to get the truth out there about various things that are happening with these left-wing organizations. And so if you really want to, I encourage each and every one of you to support him. I have no personal relationship. I've never met or spoken with Andy No or anyone who works for him, as far as I know. But I happen to just be a fan of the work and the work product that he provides to the public. So I highly recommend you guys check him out.
A little safer here, I think, maybe. Well, not that safe because you have them. You have to worry about that. But thank you very much. Andy No has been repeatedly beaten by Antifa, and including one assault that left him with a brain hemorrhage. Only days ago, Nick Sortor was assaulted in Portland by a flag-burning mob, and we've made it 1-year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court said you have freedom of speech. But what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds. They've never seen anything like it on both sides, and you end up with riots. So we're going on that basis. We're looking at it not from the freedom of speech, which I always felt strongly about, but never passed the courts. This is what they do: is they incite. When you burn an American flag, you incite tremendous violence. We have many examples of it, many examples of it, and it's actually down on tape. And you see things happen that just don't happen unless it's the flag that's burning. Very recently, Katie Davis Court was hit in the face with a flagpole in Portland by an Antifa radical, leaving her with a very blackened eye. So, Katie, thank you very much. And I'd like to also say that I watched Nick. Where's Nick? Is Nick here? Nick?
She still has a black eye.
That was a rough time you went through. I hope you got my little note. I wrote you a note.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. It helped a lot. It was a difficult situation. It was very stressful, and your note helped a lot. I truly appreciate it.
I thought it was terrible, actually. I thought it was terrible.
So that's Nick Sortor. I do know Nick to some degree through social media. I've actually appeared in X Spaces with him, and he and I have corresponded briefly, but he also does some really fine work. He was recently arrested in Portland after he was attacked. That's one of the things I was saying. I would cover what happened in Portland and what happened with Nick Sortor. If we reach our goal tonight, which is 15 yellows, I didn't announce that goal, but that is tonight's goal is 15 yells within 2 hours, and we're plotting that way. I don't know if we're gonna make it tonight or not, but yeah. So that was Nick Sorter, who's another fierce patriot who was arrested. The charges were ultimately dropped, but it's horrifying just how crazy Portland is. That like the guy who gets attacked by a mob is the one who gets arrested.
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
And Portland's a city that it's lost. There's I don't know if you can save it anymore without just clearing it all out. I have no clue.
See, I think it's what I actually think that all these things that we think we've given up hope on, it's very possible that it's just the squeaky wheel. There's a lot.
You think so?
It's very possible that like
it's the attitude of Portland though, because it's very laid back, liberal, hippie type stuff.
Right.
So they're so easy to be sort of overran by these larger personalities of the Antifas and that. So I don't know, man. I really don't. I know people that have lived there and they stayed there for 2 months and said, "Nah, I'm not going to be here," and moved away. So
yeah, let me get a couple of these chats that came in here. One old guy's opinion says, "Follow the money." Bet this will usher in digital money, and ATMs will be phasing out. Paying with cash will be as illegal as the Des Moines superintendent from Guyana who owns guns. I'm a little skeptical about digital money because I'm afraid of ceding that much power to the government. I've been against digital money for a long time, as far as that, and the fear of phasing out cash. But
I mean, where I live right now, you pay in cash, people will give you a better deal. So hey,
yeah, that's totally legal. So 100% legal.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, of course. He also says Antifa is no different as any other criminal organization. It's the Marxist Cosa Nostra. Kimmy points out what he said was Antifa is heavily embedded in the housing homeless NGOs, not with the homeless themselves. And I think that's a very important distinction that Kimmy's making here. And I think she's correct that they're basically have these NGOs means non-government organizations. So basically these different not-for-profits or stuff like that are supposed to help the homeless, but they're basically embedded with Antifa. So they get lots of funding, and somehow some of that funding ends up making its way over to Antifa. I think
just by accident. It's just a little oopsie in the accounting department.
Yeah. Dick Parker says Brenda Cruz is good too. She's from Seattle. I'm not familiar with her. What is Sin's YouTube channel and X name, please? What is your X name?
At Ambient Aristotle or Stimulated Cynic.
Very easy to find. Very easy to find. Right.
Ambient Aristotle. Yeah.
Obviously. That's the first thing that when you hear Sin, you think, well, what would he go by?
It was when I used to troll Mitch McConnell, and he, people called him, Cocaine Mitch, and I was like, I just came up with the name and started.
You can change your name. You can.
I don't want to. I like it.
All right.
It's nice.
All right. His YouTube channel is in the description. You can see it there. I already plugged it in before the show started. I was pretty good about that one tonight. So, but what's it called for those people who don't like clicking?
FFS Podcast. We cover, topical things. Depends on what's in the news, what's going on. So
you're a marketing genius. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's
I do what I can. I really can't describe the podcast, man. It floats all over the place. So like we covered racism the other day.
What does FFS stand for?
You can figure that one out, I think.
I only got 2 F's.
For F's sake, right? I don't want to cuss too bad on your channel. So
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fine. All right. So there you go. So that's where you can find them. And I recommend you guys
Thank you
check
so
them out.
much. Yeah.
Lynn Lynn says it sounds a lot like there are Democrat politicians that are involved. They're protecting Antifa. They're involved somehow. These organizations, a politician organ that hired Antifa as her security. That's where we need to start. We need to start going after. We need to start going after these politicians who are that. I'm hopeful that by declaring Antifa a terrorist organization, we're going to start seeing some of these charges against these politicians, because I think that they enable, embolden, and create opportunities for Antifa to thrive. I think a lot of them do, not all of them.
Well, they get a pass then, right? they become legitimate. If you're hiring these people as security, well,
Yeah.
you legitimize them, and we
Yeah.
shouldn't do that.
But it's not just the individuals. What I'm saying is I think that their activities are basically endorsed by the left. You see
Oh yeah, 100%. Of course.
Antifa came out of Portland. They were anarchists, of course. Yes, completely anarchist. But they pretend. What's really horrifying. What's really horrifying. I had a clip here that let me see if I can pull this up for you. We'll come back. We'll come back to this roundtable meeting, but I mean, these are the people who think that they're the good guys. Okay, this is what Antifa stands for. I mean, it's. I found it here. We're not going to watch this whole interview. Okay. This is Nate Friedman.
So,
who was at some Free Palestine rally the last couple of days or so. Okay. So he always asks questions, and he's already becoming well known enough that people in the crowd start to recognize him. But listen to this guy he's talking to here.
is this the trans flag?
This is the Palestinian flag mixed with the trans flag.
Okay. What do you say to those who say that trans people would be killed in Palestine?
I mean, I don't know about that, but I know that I'm
no.
standing here today. At least 50% of the Gazan government needs to be trans women.
Give me a second. Oh no.
50%.
The amount of their government that'd be thrown off rooftops immediately.
50%. That's what he's calling for.
This guy he's not smart.
It goes. This guy is he's a whirlwind.
Like Muhammad herself.
No! Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, Islam is a trans idea. It's a trans religion. Muhammad herself was a proud trans lesbian.
In Iran, the morale.
I don't disagree with him also now.
What?
I don't really know if I disagree with him anymore now. I mean, he's making some good points, Joe.
Wait, just let him go. He's got a lot more on his mind.
All right, I'll let him cook. All right.
Yeah, you might want to just wait before you jump in bed with this guy.
Trans Iran.
You went a little quick there.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
They kill trans people. Like, do you think that that's not true? Or,
I mean, I think they're secretly Jews if they do that.
Wait, what?
Because no Muslim would actually do that. Like, Islam is a gay religion. It is
they asked Muslims in Gaza what you would do with trans people. They say that we don't have that here. We kill those people.
I mean, I don't know, but that's why we need to protest harder. That we need at least 50% of the Palestinian government to be trans women.
How do we make how do we make that happen?
I mean, we have to protest. We have to put pressure on the Jews who control the world to make this happen.
Well,
like,
I mean, he made a point. Okay.
He's got thoughts.
He's got ideas.
We gotta put
man.
Jews who control the world and are controlling the Gazan government.
Y'all have to stop doing it, Joe. Y'all seriously have to stop controlling the world, man.
Yeah. No, don't. He's going to explain how Jews are contrling it. Also,
I am super excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to make this.
Are you Jewish?
No, I'm Italian and Muslim.
Yeah. So Jews own everything. Yeah. How do you think that happened? How did Jews start owning everything?
I don't know. They use their dark magic, I guess. Like.
Yeah.
I'm Jewish, and I would like to have some magic, but I don't feel like I have any magic. How do you think I can access this dark magic?
I don't know if you're maybe using your magic on me right now.
No, if I am, it's the first time ever hearing about magic.
Because we used to have like the thing where you would tie a stone to the leg of a witch and dunk her in the water, and if she floated, she was a witch.
Should we do that with Jews?
Yes.
Okay. We do that with Jews across the whole world?
I mean,
everywhere. And there's the other one where you like put the the Bible on one scale and the Jew on the other.
He's getting this guy's getting his
Look, people in the chat are saying he's trolling, but look, if he's a troll, he is so good at it because I'm not seeing any inflection in his face. He has got it down.
at all.
Also, I think he's got a point about putting like a Bible on one side, Joe on the other side, and just seeing what happens. You know,
it's like he has his history. People think he's trolling, and you'll see he's not. I don't think he's.
I think he's just a little special and has bought into the JQ stuff.
Yeah, okay, that I'll agree with you on.
Yeah.
But it looks like he got his history from like basically Monty Python is where he's like he's doing the whole scale and having the witch on one side.
I mean,
that's what we used to do. That's what we used to do.
I mean, yeah, we had ideas.
You sure you still want to sign up
on
with
his
this guy?
side? Look, I'm gonna hear him out for a second, Joe.
Okay.
Don't push me to a decision yet. All right. The scale thing was brilliant. All right.
Better than the Bible, they're a witch.
Okay. Should we just kill all the Jews, though?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to do.
No.
Yeah.
Am I? I'm a Zionist.
They be posting on Instagram weird shit. Don't talk to them.
Well, we're on YouTube too.
Like I'm gonna come in here with my face covered up, telling you that I know what's up, and the one who's posting weird crap. Okay.
Jewish dark magic.
You do on YouTube? Like,
We're just having a conversation.
I mean,
now,
not now. I'll do it later.
Yeah. So we should kill all the Jews. How should we kill all the Jews?
We should throw the Jew down the well, so that my country at least can be free.
So apparently he has his politics from Borat.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. Look, this guy is trolling. I mean, he is really good at it, man. Like he is. There's no way I could say all that and not smirk a little bit. There's no way.
Yeah, no, this guy is. I don't think he's trolling. I do think he's special.
And which is your country?
Well, America.
America's your country.
But also Palestine. I mean, I stand with Palestine.
Okay.
I'm not from there. I've never been there.
And are you trans?
Yes.
Okay. So do you believe that you could stand in Palestine safely as a trans person?
If we succeed, I would be one of the first trans members of the new Palestinian parliament.
Would you like to have like a GoFundMe organized to become the first trans member of parliament in Gaza?
GoFundMe.
First.
I'm with this guy a little bit on a couple things. I'm still
a couple of things.
He keeps bringing me back. You know what I mean? Like
every time he scares you away, and then he pulls. All right,
yeah,
he still has more thoughts. There's still almost 2 minutes of this left.
Okay,
So,
all right. Let's hear him out. Let him cook. See what he does.
On Indiegogo, I guess.
And where can people find you? What's your name?
They can find me. Oh, what is my new Instagram? I made a new one because.
No, your name. Just your name.
Oh, I know you.
Right.
I know you. How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
Be careful. This guy's pro-Israel. He acts like he's the one who wants to support Palestine. He isn't. I'll answer any question.
Okay.
Are you ready? I'm willing to talk to you.
After I'm done with it.
I was waiting for you, man. I was tracking you down. Thank God you're here.
Plug my YouTube channel.
Sure. Yeah, please show your YouTube channel to the camera.
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Dunking all the Jews in the world in a well seems inefficient. Is there a faster way to kill all the Jews?
I mean,
hide all the pennies.
Hitler was pretty good at it, right?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so
these are the people who call the right fascists. That's. I just want to point that out. They call the right fascists. Okay.
We should do it similarly to the way Hitler did it.
I mean, he wasn't quite fast enough, but because like they were able to end the war before he was finished, but.
So he should have
the two fronts thing. You know?
I think that, and like now that we have like all these like fast food chains with their own ovens, like Pizza Hut, McDonald's, we could
see now. I think he's starting to take the piss a little bit, but I do think he was serious in the beginning.
Ovens to do this, and it would go so much faster.
What do you do for work?
I'm a graphic designer, and I protest on behalf.
And who do you work for?
I work for Muhammad, who was a trans lesbian.
Perfect. Thank you.
Meet Mike Kasich. He's a radical trans ideologist that
just happens to believe that we should kill all the Jews. Every photo of him is of him naked, and he's got an OnlyFans, and he even just showed us his YouTube channel. So FBI, I think this is worth your time.
So there you go. So are you on board with Mike Kasich, whatever?
You know, I think I'm gonna have to like go to his YouTube channel and sort of like hear him out a little bit. He had a couple good ideas, right?
A couple of good ideas.
A couple, I think Islam is a trans ideology. Muhammad was a trans woman. Half of Gaza's parliament should be trans. Then there's a few other things that I'm not going to discuss in public. I think he may have been mistaken on, except for the scale thing. That one was great. That was
perfect. The scale. Kimmy's asking me, do you have the clip where POTUS casually decides to declare Antifa a foreign terrorist organization? If not, I can find it on DM. I do not have that clip. I thought he did officially declare them.
He had mentioned it in one of the clips we watched.
Yeah,
pretty sure he did.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I do want to know more about the Jewish dark magic, though, Joe. Would you?
The Jewish dark magic is a thing.
Yeah.
The space that's how we created the space lasers. It was through dark magic. There's
a whole lot of things going. I got you.
You have to power up. It's not like like one Jew can do it. You need like a cabal of Jews together. So that's what he was being a little paranoid there. He was worried about one Jew, because it's like you sort of need to have you need to have a whole bunch together, and then and you can actually see the aura spinning around and around, and then if you do it well enough, in that case, you can, if you're skilled at it,
you get a space.
Next thing you know, you have a space laser.
So you're saying we need a bigger well to fix this problem?
I guess.
That guy was wild.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Dina, thank you so much for the tip. Appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Pushing us toward our goal here. I nominate him for ambassador to Gaza today. I think he should stand in his tribute. I agree with you, Dick Parker.
I'll fund his plane ticket.
Can you please use your dark magic on me, Joe? Happy anniversary. 1 year, Felzu. I'm gonna give you the hardcore button. Happy anniversary to our Felzu as a member of the following. In case you're unaware of this, in fact, you know what? In celebration of Felzu being here for 1 year, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in 5 new members to the following right now. We're just going to do it. We're
just a giving person.
We're just going to do it. I'm going to.
The chat says Joe doesn't do anything for them. Shows up late. Gives them a hard time about Indians.
Yeah, I'm a very difficult person.
And then look at him; he's benevolent and gives away 5 memberships.
There you go.
Way to go!
Following 5 people are new members of the following. New members, please bear in mind that the following is not at all a cult type of cult.
I mean, it could be.
It's not at all a cult,
but
it's not. It's not.
Okay.
And I am not at all the leader of the following, but the following 5 people who are brought in here include Nanny Goat, Sean Dankers, Butt Coffee First, Retired Merce, and Jack. Just Jack, I guess. So welcome to the following. We have cookies. And Lauren Kremen says, Nick helped so many after Helene in Western North Carolina. He raised money to bring Starlink to communities that had no communication with authorities. I remember the early days. LE relied on his Starlink access to help many. So there you go. There you go. God bless him. And Brian Oldenkamp gifting 10 new members of the following. When I call your name, please bear in mind that you should express. It's a polite thing to do. That you should express your gratitude to Brian for bringing you on into the following. That would include Kick IRL Recap, MVC, Big H, Mick Hatton. Or MC Hatton? MC Hatton?
Mick Hatton?
Dick Parker! Look at that! Dick Parker becoming a new member of the following. There you go. Patty Denise, Bob, and Babo Yogi, as well as Jeremy Alt and Jared McCoy. Welcome to the following. Thank you, Brian Oldenkamp, bringing in new followers. Please bear in mind that you might think, oh, follower, that means like I'm part of some sort of cult or something. It's not at all a cult.
But
There's no spaceships. There's no goat sacrifices, no squirrel mutilations, no throwing virgins into volcanoes, no dancing around bonfires to the beat of a tom-tom while shucking off your clothing. There's it is mild farm work, no mandatory jumpsuits or of any kind.
But we
not
do
at all-
have matching jumpsuits. They're just not mandatory.
They're
right?
not mandatory. They're not mandatory. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's not at all. It's
Well,
just
what
about,
if we wanted to call it a cult?
it's
though,
not
right?
at all a
But
cult type of cult. It's just about greater personal growth through community, unity, learning, and thinking. So welcome to the following. So, and thank you so much, Brian. I send DM 59 seconds. He takes a quick poll. All right, let's check out. So I have a lot more to cover with respect to Antifa. We're gonna get back on track with Antifa, but Kimmy took care of me as far as this little clip here of Jack Sobek encouraging designated Antifa as a foreign terrorist organization. So,
all right, let's watch it.
Yeah,
Today, and I'm echoing what
let's get this as Sin reaches for the Zippo.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Who you with? Who you with?
the Center Square. I had the honor of asking you originally if you would designate Antifa a terror organization, and I stand here before you today, and I'm echoing what Andy said over here. Are you going to work with your administration as the Secretary of State's here? Are you going to work with your administration to designate it a foreign terror organization?
You mean it a terror?
Antifa? A foreign terror organization.
Well, has that been done? Pretty close, right? Would you like to see it done?
Yes, Mr. President.
Do you think it would help?
They have foreign
I'd be
links
glad
all
to do
across
it. I
Western
think it's
Europe.
the kind of thing I'd like to do. If you'd like, does
Middle
everybody
East.
agree? If you agree, I agree. Let's get it done. Okay, let's get it done. Marco, we'll take care of it.
Mr. President.
That's international, you mean? International.
Oh, so now we
Sounds
got
good to
foreign.
me. Steve, are you okay with it?
Yes, it's true. There are extensive foreign ties, and I think that would be a very valid step to take.
Good, I think so too.
Yes.
Good, I think it's a good point. Thanks. Go ahead. Who are you with? Who are you with?
Now, you might be asking yourself, what are the distinctions between being labeled a terror organization and a foreign terror organization? Like, what are the legal ramifications of that?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
You were going to ask that, right?
Yeah, I really was. Yeah, I was about to say, wait a minute, what's the distinction? So, what do we got? You're the expert.
I don't know the distinction off the top of my head.
But you're the leader of the cult. How do you?
No, I'm not. Not at all the leader of the following. I'm just the host. Okay.
I got you. That's
what is the? We'll ask Grok this question because I think this is a good question. This is a good question for Grok. See what is the distinction between labeling Antifa a terrorist organization and foreign terrorist organization?
All right. Do you want to take an educated guess before it gives it?
No.
Okay. We're just gonna let Grot do all the. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
I guess it opens up the FBI. The CIA. It opens up the CIA to go after them. The FBI would be domestic.
Yeah.
So that would be one. That would be one area. I find that Grok 4 fast is not nearly as fast as.
It's not. No. I like to do the logic one where it thinks even longer and it gives you like these steps that it's thinking through. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So what they give me here is in U.S. law, term terrorist organization can refer to different designations depending on whether the group is domestic or foreign. A foreign terrorist organization is a formal statutory label applied exclusively to foreign groups with significant legal and international ramifications. In contrast, labeling a domestic group like Antifa as a terrorist organization lacks a parallel formal process and is typically handled through executive directives or case-by-case enforcement, emphasizing symbolic and operational impacts over broad prohibitions. Key distinctions. The following table compares the two designations based on U.S. legal framework.
Okay.
Section 2, an FTO, Section 219 of the Immigration Nationality Act as amended. No statutory equivalent relies on executive orders. Okay, our existing laws. Applicability exclusively. So FTOs are exclusively foreign terrorist organizations, domestic groups, or movements. Antifa describes loosely unaffiliated U.S.-based anarchists. It's not helping me. Secretary of State in consultation with the AG and Secretary of the Treasury. That's who would designate it. So it's not. So domestic is designated by the president, but you would need Rubio and Pam Bondi and Scott Bessent to name them a foreign terror organization. They would need to be, in order to qualify, they have to be deemed a foreign organization that engages in terrorist activity or terrorism that threatens U.S. national security. Classified notification to Congress 7 days before publication, published in the Federal Register, judicial review in D.C. Circuit Court. What?
Wait, what?
You need to have judicial review in the D.C. Circuit Court 30 days and reviewed every 5 years upon petition.
To keep them as a foreign
terrorist organization.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Criminalizes material support under 18 U.S.C. 22339B, including funds, training, or services up to 20 years imprisonment, bars members from U.S. entry, freezes assets versus via Treasury, and international stigma deters global funding signals to allies. As opposed to without it, it enables enhanced investigations, surveillance, and prosecutions. No blanket ban or support of membership, symbolic signal to law enforcement public. And then and more limited by First Amendment. So it could have First Amendment ramifications if they're a foreign terrorist organization.
And also limits the funding. We could go after foreign funding and things like that. Okay.
Yeah, but it does seem that for the process that it's gonna have a judicial review in a DC Circuit Court, which I have concerns about whether or not it'll pass muster with that.
Yeah, but that's every go back up every 30 days. It would have to pass.
No, and within 30 days.
Oh, within 30 days.
I assume so. Yeah.
Okay.
Antifa is a decentralized domestic movement, cannot be designated FDO because it's not foreign based. Well, they're trying to say it is, so that's
well, if
nice.
its funding is foreign based, then it is. Just because it's on domestic, on the domestic side with the foot soldiers or whatever you would want to call them. But
so they would have to present a case that it is foreign. It is a foreign group. So. Anyway, thank you, Kimmy.
Give me a couple weeks in Washington. I'll figure out how to do it.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Kimmy.
Bring Joe and I to one of those meetings. We'll figure it out.
We'll get to the bottom of it. Modern Antifa stole the label of Antifa from World War II underground. This idea was sold on college and university campuses. This guy, Funyun, being interviewed translates. I don't know what the last part of that means, but. So you're saying you require Minion to power up for the laser for your witchcraft, adding to the goal, and shout out to Diggers. Hey, Diggers. Good to see you. Adding to the goal fund. Look at this. Everyone's just pushing forward on that goal fund. Was that guy John Kasich's son? Same weirdness.
Well, yeah, it very well could be.
I think you mean Tim Kasich. I think she means Tim Kasich.
Hold up.
Yeah, Tim.
It is Tim.
It is Tim.
Yeah.
It is Tim. The only reason I remember that as Tim Kasich is because Saturday Night Live had a great bit where they were like, name that guy, like, and they had what's the guy's name? Someone with an M, Mulholland or something like that. I don't know. The guy who was on cocaine for a while and did a stand-up on it. He was a writer for SNL for a while. I'm sure the chat is all over me for not remembering it. But so he played a contestant on there. And it was right before the election in 2024. And he was, screaming about how this is the most important election and we got to make sure Kamala gets elected. So they're like, okay. So like they were like trolling him, like basically like for like $1 million. Name this guy. He was Hillary Clinton's running mate. No, that was Tim Kaine.
Yeah, it was Tim Kaine.
That was Tim Kaine.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it's John Kasich.
It is John Kasich.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right.
Jeez, man.
all
You're the
right,
expert
fine.
here.
That was a brain
Professional.
Fart. That was a brain fart. And Tim Kaine and John Kasich are very hard to distinguish also.
I followed you on it, and then I was like, wait a minute. And I pulled it up. I was like, nope.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to let you run the story out, though.
I appreciate you let me hang myself there.
I just gave you all the rope.
Here you go. Here you go, Joe. Let me just I'm going to loosen the knots here. Give you some more for you, Joe. Thank you so much.
Sorry, that last guy that we watched that interview of had a few good ideas, and I'm just,
Open society funding knows no borders. This is true, and I do think that they could be qualified as a foreign terrorist organization. The question is whether or not we're going to get a DC circuit court to agree with that, because that might be a bit of a hurdle. Because I think, frankly, a third of them probably are on Antifa. They're probably running around with masks and waving those Antifa flags.
Catch a few of them in there for sure, I bet.
Yeah. So anyhow, I got a bunch more clips I want to share with you all here. So let's get back to work. Let's get back to work. This is Savannah Hernandez going off about the police who sit and do nothing when they see these terrorists doing what they're doing.
Incredible. The only question nobody can answer is why. Why are they doing this? They're like insurrectionists. They're terrible people. But you really wonder why. Why are they doing it? What are they gaining other than they're obviously paid? They're paid a lot of money. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, if I can answer that question, the reason why they're doing it is because the same media that's sitting in this room with us has declared all of us at this table Nazis and fascists, and they've been doing this for years. This is why Antifa feels emboldened to attack us. Now, almost every single person at this table has been threatened with a steel bat. We've been assaulted, we've been harassed, we've been threatened, and that is in huge part due to the media. So my message right now is for you guys, because 2 years ago back in 2020, by the way, I was censored for my reporting on Antifa here in Washington, D.C. You were talking about how safe it is now, Mr. President. It wasn't so safe back then. Back in 2020, I watched as a father was being mobbed and surrounded by Antifa members as his terrified, crying children looked on, and the police here did nothing. I watched as a woman had her hair violently ripped out of her skull simply for waving an American flag on the streets of Washington, D.C. And by the way, if you guys try to go and find any of this footage, you won't find any of it because Twitter deleted all of it because our president shared my reporting and they deleted my entire account immediately after. So now, if you want to know what happened in 2020, all you're going to see is the media headlines that said that it was fiery but mostly peaceful. Thanks for that one, CNN. The reality is that it was an extremely violent period of time, and for the last 10 years, Antifa has been wreaking havoc on law-abiding and innocent American citizens, and it needs to end. Now, I'm with Turning Point USA. It's an honor to be here, Mr. President. Thank you guys so much, everybody in the administration, for giving us a seat at the table, because the media has not only been demonizing us for so long, but immediately after the brutal assassination of our founder, Charlie Kirk, our Turning Point USA chapters have seen an uptick in violence across the nation as Antifa chapters that are embedded in our universities go and target them. It's been extremely difficult to report on the ground, and for a long time I was afraid to go to Portland because I knew that the only people who would have my back, like Julio said, were one of my friends on the ground because there is no police force there. I was terrified to go because I knew if I got shot or stabbed, and I have been assaulted, I've been mobbed and robbed in Austin, Texas by Antifa, that nobody would come to help me. So my plea to the entire administration, especially to the DOJ, is every single radical left-winger who was in front of the ICE facility in Chicago, in New York, in Portland, please make sure that you use the full force of the law to come after each and every single one of them, because it is us being soft on left-wing violence that has fomented all of the terror that we have seen in this country, and it is the left wing getting away time and time again with assaulting law-abiding American citizens that has led us to this place. So truly, to the Americans that I speak to on the ground, they feel completely abandoned by their state and local government. So please step in. You have Americans begging for the National Guard, and to the media over here, please report on the truth. Please do your jobs. I'm an American citizen. Everybody at this table simply views ourselves as American citizens who have an iPhone and the will to actually tell the truth. So please take your job seriously and tell the truth to the American people. And thank you for letting me be here on behalf of Charlie to continue
Dang.
his legacy of cleaning up the country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
she came
Wow.
prepared, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she knocked it out of the park. I didn't even want to say anything clever or witty during that.
Yeah, no, she was phenomenal though.
Yeah.
She really was.
Fantastic. Good job.
Yeah. And this is Katie Davis Court. She was the one we saw earlier who had she actually has a black eye that she's still sporting.
I was
from-
thinking of something though, Joe. Do you think we could get Trump to deputize the cult to go after, like, allow us to go after Antifa personally as the group that we are in the following, maybe?
You're saying that we would be like the Justice League kind
Yes.
of thing.
I'm just spitballing here.
Because when you look at like the all the dudes who form up Antifa, you tend to think of Catwoman, the Penguin.
Just coming up with radical ideas,
Yeah.
Help society.
I'll talk to my people.
Okay, yeah, that's what
I'll
we ought to
threaten
do.
them with my Jewish space lasers. I'll try to use my Jew magic on them and see what we can get done. I'll definitely see what we can get done. International organizations can end up in Gitmo. That's true. That
is very true. Actually, I didn't even think about that.
America is the only country where you can order a hamburger from someone and they can order a hamburger right back. That one went over my head. Not sure that one. I don't understand.
Appreciate it though. That was a good one.
Yeah. It's John Kasich, Ohio governor. His dad was a mailman, which would explain a lot also. What?
Nothing. Look, man. I'm just here enjoying myself
because the mail never ends. Katie Davis Court here.
I'm an investigative journalist from Seattle. I work for the Post Millennial alongside Andy No and Jack Posobiec. I have been infiltrating Antifa cells in Seattle and Portland for the past decade. I know their inner workings, and Antifa uses extreme political violence to crush the civil rights of their political enemies and believes that violence is justified by any means necessary. But today, I want to focus on what is happening in Portland at the ICE facility. I've been covering this for the past 4 months, and this is a call out to corporate media who has completely ignored this story or has falsely reported on it. This is nothing short other than a sustained attack on the United States, which is being supported by Democratic elected officials. The Portland Police Bureau has completely abandoned several blocks outside the ICE facility, giving away their jurisdiction to a terrorist group who has spent the past 4 months harassing, assaulting, and intimidating anyone they perceive to be against their cause. Not only have federal agents been relentlessly assaulted for more than 100 consecutive days, black-clad anarchist militants concealing their identities behind black facial coverings have been assaulting reporters just for trying to cover their crimes. Today, I am sitting here with a black eye and a concussion after being violently hit in the face with a metal pole while reporting outside the ICE facility just this past week. After the attack, I immediately went to three Portland police officers who refused to detain the suspect. I took the time to chase down the suspect in the streets, had her held for 35 minutes. I was waiting for Portland police to come, and they never came.
It's pathetic. It's really pathetic.
Yeah.
It's astonishing.
It's disgraceful, right? Like, none of these guys want to do their actual jobs. It's
not that they don't want to. I think they're ordered not to. That's the whole point. That they're basically directed not to do anything.
But let me ask you something, Joe. Like, if you were a member of the Portland Police and they told you not to, would you take that order? The man that you are. I mean, I couldn't. I would have to quit and protest or go out there and try to protect people the best way I could.
See, I think that there's a certain percentage of cops, and it probably will vary significantly based on jurisdiction, who who take the job because they look at it as for the nobility that you're looking at how we traditionally will think of police officers, and I think others take it as like more of a 9 to 5 with good benefits. Yeah, and they basically
Do you
feel
think the larger percentage is the good benefits and pension?
well, there's a third category also, and that's people who basically are seeking to have power, respect, or
little man syndrome.
The little man syndrome folks.
Gotcha.
So, so now between those three categories, like if I tried assigning, what I suspect is common, like let's say across the country, I think half of them have little man syndrome.
I would agree. Yeah.
And maybe 10 to 15.
Agree.
Maybe 10 to 15. Even some of them might start with nobility and
then they get into the pension area where, oh man, I'm going to retire in a couple of years. I don't know if I
burnt out. They get burnt out on the whole system and the politics and all that other stuff. So, at any given time, I'd be surprised if there's more than 15%, which are actually there for the nobility reasons that we would normally ascribe to police officers.
I think I agree with you. I really do.
I mean, that's just what my gut says, but
yeah.
So, John Kasich was governor of Ohio and ran against Trump for POTUS. Trump made fun of him eating a plate of spaghetti and called him a total slob. Good times. I actually have a clip of that. You want to see that?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Now you look at Kasich. I don't think he knows what, did you see him? He has the news conference all the time when he's eating. I have never seen a human being eat in such a disgusting fashion. I'm always telling my young son, Barron, I'm saying, and I always with my kids, all of them, I'd say, children, small little bites, small. This guy takes a pancake and he's shoving it in his mouth. He's like, it's disgusting. Do you want
it in his mouth?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just honestly, it's disgusting. And
he's so good. I'm gonna miss that guy.
Oh man, he's fantastic. One of the most entertaining guys I've ever seen in my life. Oh man,
he's so good at what he does. He's so good at it. Got a couple more clips here. More clips.
Let's do them.
Such a great roundtable today.
Mr. President, thank you so much for having us here today and holding this roundtable. Antifa is real. Antifa has been around in various iterations for almost 100 years in some instances, going back to the Weimar Republic in Germany. And it's now been just under 1 month since we saw a far leftist murder Charlie Kirk. And we saw thousands upon thousands of people, other far leftists and people in positions of authority, people like nurses and pilots and doctors and HR departments celebrating the death and the murder of Charlie Kirk. This sickness that's out there is absolutely real. And Mr. President, thank you for mentioning the fact that one of the bullet casings read, "Hey fascist, catch" on it. One of the other bullet casings right next to that had Bella Ciao written on it. Now, Bella Ciao is a song that is known in Antifa circles as the international anthem of Antifa. And all of us around the world, around this room that have studied Antifa, we're very familiar with these symbols. And Mr. President, I think the situation is getting worse. When you look at people like Luigi Maggioni in his 20s, Thomas Matthew Crooks, of course, who took a shot at you, sir, the ICE shooter in Dallas, and now this Tyler Robinson, we're starting to see a pattern of more and more murderous violence. And this same violence is not just random. It is targeted assassinations, which are getting worse. And every single one of us in this room that goes out there, and obviously you as well, sir, and all the staff, we are now under that threat every single day. And working there at Turning Point USA, and I've spent just about the last month out there in Phoenix with Erica, with the family, with the team. And I will tell you this, Mr. President, even though going through something like that, which is an absolute nightmare, and people say, you know, what was it like to speak in front of all those people? It was horrible. Every second of it was horrible. But we're not going to quit. And Turning Point USA is continuing the tour that Charlie was on. We had 6,000 people when we went back to Utah. We had 5,000 people last night in Montana, if you can believe that. We are continuing to organize on campus. We are getting more and more people coming out in the face of this threat, knowing what happened to Charlie. But Mr. President, we need to do something about this, because I fear that the next one who could be killed could be sitting at this table right now. And we're not going to stop, but they need to stop, and they will not stop until they are stopped.
Very powerful message from Jack Posobiec.
Yeah.
I've had the privilege of meeting Jack and actually speaking with him. I was shocked when I was covering the Bannon trial, and all of a sudden I hear someone screaming, Joe Neerman. And I turn around, I was like, oh my God, that's Jack Posobiec. Oh my God, Jack Posobiec knows my name. that was like the thought that was the thought that went through my head in that order.
That was the thought that went through my head when you were telling the story.
I was like, no one's gonna believe that Jack Posobiec knows my name, but he does. And I was actually hanging out with him for a while. He's completely a real one. He's everything that he says. He really believes. He's some people, when I meet them, I'm just sort of like, this is someone who's riding a wave of popularity, but he is he comes across to me, at least, as being very, very real. Mm-hmm. And you hear it when he's talking. Like, he's like, look, this is something that he wants America to be better.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
And yes, I'm a big fan of Jack Posobiec. I think that he does good. He does really good work, and he's a very smart guy. Very smart guy. So, and he's real, which is we need real ones. One old guy's opinion says the mainstream media is demonically led by a Zazel Baal and a Jezebel spirit. That they are pretty twisted. The cops will be fined and prosecuted for breaking state, local, and executive orders. Ask any boots on the DHS agents under Obama and Biden administrations. And I think he's responding to what you were asking me. Like, you know, if you were a cop and you got that order. And I think he's actually making a really good point here. If you get an order to stand down and you disregard that and you engage with someone, you're now acting without the legal authority to act. In which case you theoretically could be prosecuted if you harm someone in the course of trying to stop them. You know, if you take the role of being a police officer and you're disregarding express orders as to what you're supposed to be doing, you know, so in that sense, you know, your only option is to resign. And we've seen so many cops who have resigned, right? We've seen so many people who basically taken a stand, and the police forces are desperately trying to find people. And would you want to become a cop today?
No, not at all. No, not a chance.
Yeah, because you know that you're following under this is why we said, because cops want to do their job, right? When you're signing up for it, I think a significant percentage start for the right reasons, and that and perhaps many of them get burnt out. But you know, if you know that you're walking into a situation that you're going to be handcuffed from being able to do what your objective is of trying to make the world safer, you're just like, why am I doing this? So I should basically be spat upon and have everyone, you know, sneer and hate me, and be put in these situations where I have to risk defending myself from lunatics, and then have leadership, which is basically telling me stand there and take it and don't do anything. And in contrast, look at the military, right? You know, when you have Pete Hegseth come in there, and we surged, in the first several months, our expectations for the year for people signing up for the military. And that's because people have a confidence, you know, young people have a confidence in the direction of this administration. And to me, that's one of the most encouraging things about the future. And there's so much to be discouraged about with respect to the future. But seeing people sign up is a reflection, because there are there's just young people, right? I mean, when people signing up for the Army. Yeah. So So the fact that so many young people are signing up to join the military is a very positive reflection that there is a silent disgust amongst young people for the twisted messages that they've been hearing from the demonic media and from the shriekers from the left.
The shriekers from the left. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Law enforcement question is also a question of Soros DAs who have created the law enforcement process. What can be done to regain? Can DOJ do anything? Will foreign terror tag help if funding for those DAs are the same? So, I mean, it's a very tough thing because when you're dealing now with issues of state versus federal, right? So on the federal level, in theory, Pam Bondi has ability to get rid of people and restructure leadership in various locales where the prosecution is twisted against American interests. I mean, if she's so inclined, which I think with respect to the hiring, I think they've probably gotten, and the position assignments, I think they've probably gotten better about that than they certainly were in Trump's first term. And they put more of a key emphasis about doing that better. We've seen signs of that. But on a state level, you know, when someone's elected to be you know, the district attorney, there's little that the federal government can do there, right? So
Yeah.
so locales like Oregon are lost. There's nothing you can really do to try and fix that scenario. But other than, you know, vote them out and, you know, pray that you can actually get the numbers to vote these people out. I missed the
Good luck.
Johnny Reb said Cathedral News Story video. What is this? I don't know what it is that he wanted. That's a 404. I got a 404 error when I tried clicking on that. What do you got here for me?
We start with.
He's got, oh, this is the man arrested outside St. Matthew's Cathedral with multiple suspicious items in a tent. Someone asked me about this in an earlier chat, which I said I didn't even know anything about this story, and that's why Johnny Reb shared this with me.
Okay.
So
I haven't heard anything about this. Let's
let's
figure it out together, boys.
Yes, let's get to this.
The arrest in DuPont Circle, right on the steps of St. Matthew's Cathedral. Explosives found before the annual Red Mass with a number of political and legal leaders. Fox 5's David Kaplan joins us from right outside the church tonight. David, what do we know?
Yeah, Katie, good evening to you. This was the 73rd Red Mass today. It often draws D.C. legal dignitaries to historically include Supreme Court justices. And as part of that, there is typically a big security presence. And it was that presence at 6 a.m. that led to this arrest. The Mass did eventually go on as planned around 9 o'clock this morning. As we stand here now, we do not know what justices, if any, were here at the Mass when it did happen, or if any of them altered any plans as a result of what happened in the hours prior. We've reached out to the Supreme Court. We'll stay ahead of the response if we do hear back. But take a look at this video. Indications are when DC police was doing a security sweep around 6 this morning, they came across this tent with a man inside that had previously been barred from the property. The man refused to leave, was arrested. Police searched the tent, finding vials of a liquid and possible fireworks. We have to stress, right now, police have not said anything about a motive here, if there even was one connected to this event. Regardless, I spoke with a woman coming to pray this afternoon who says this shouldn't happen.
This is a church, and not everybody that goes to church believes in God or is a Christian, but we have a right to move about day to day, and it should be respected.
For some context here, this service happens every year at St. Matthew's at the beginning of the Supreme Court's judicial year. It is.
Do you know what Red Mass is?
I have no clue. Somehow I
You're
am
my
surrounded
Christian.
by Catholics in my Discord server that I have, but they've never mentioned anything about Red Mass. I'm sure I could get one to tell me though.
Yeah. Well, you start making yourself useful, okay?
Let me reach out right quick.
Blessings and guidance for the legal community. Mark DiGirolamo is a Catholic University professor who stressed that while we don't know much about the suspect or potential motivation, this incident at this particular prominent event speaks to the tension in the nation.
It's an uncomfortable time for people of faith generally. I think it's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say scary, but it's a little bit of a nervous time. And that's a matter of, great regret, but it's probably part of the same kind of phenomenon of polarization and increasing anger within partisan politics that one sees more broadly on all sides, I should say.
Now, the suspect has been identified as 41-year-old Louis Gary. He has a South Jersey address. He's charged with unlawful entry, threats to kidnap or injure, and possession of a Molotov cocktail. The Cardinal, during his speech during the Mass, called those in attendance architects of hope in this country during these politically charged times.
So there you go. There you go. It's never a surprise anymore, unfortunately, right?
It really isn't, right? You just never.
Is there anything that can shock you at this point, right?
No, it's really not. I wake up and I go, oh, well, all right then. I guess that's what we're doing now. Okay.
Yeah.
And you just move on. You go to Walmart and get your groceries, and you come back home, and that's it. Duck Fast said Red Mass is day before Red Heifer sacrifice, I think. No, I don't think that's it. I don't think at all.
Definitely not that. Useless.
All right. I actually do have something on Red Mass.
What do you have?
Let's see here. Let's see if I can pull this up right quick. Give me a second.
Well, my chat beat you to it. The Red Mass is a Catholic tradition that marks the opening of the judicial year, invoking divine guidance from members of the legal profession.
There we go. Thank you so much, NBC.
There you go. Thank you, NBC. Good job. And one last clip before we get on out of here. This is what we're going to close out. And I'll tell you, I've been thinking about getting out there and trying to do more reporting. Like I'm sort of inspired by like the whole Charlie Kirk example.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reality that folks who are out there are facing.
When I leave my house to go to work, I am violently assaulted. I've had guns pulled on me. I've been bear sprayed. I've been beaten down. I've been almost killed. So my question for all of you is, how would you feel if every time you showed up to work, masked militants tried to kill you? Because that's how we feel. That's our lived reality. And you guys go and tell us that we're liars, the riots aren't that bad, right? I've never seen any of you guys on the ground. In fact, I've never seen anybody representing the companies you work for on the ground. You guys come to us for interviews that never get published. Stop saying we're lying. We're not. We risk our lives every day to do the job that you guys are too afraid to do. When I leave my house.
There you go.
It's true though, and modern day, it's not just going to be people that are doing on the ground reporting, right? It's going to be people that espouse conservative values and points of view eventually, right? You're not going to be safe just because you don't sit behind a microphone and talk to students about trans issues or anything like that. Like it's going to get worse and worse.
Yeah. But I feel as if I'm hopeful. Like I said, I look for signs that we're headed in the right direction.
We are.
So, this roundtable today is a sign. The people signing up for recruiting for our military, when they see real leadership coming back, that's a sign. And I feel as if our numbers are far greater than people realize, and perhaps people can take encouragement from that. That evil is, and evil is also recognizing it's losing. You can sense more of a desperation. The fact that they're resorting to assassinations, you can see that, and after they desperately tried silencing us, and that failed. They tried jailing. They're trying to shoot at us. These are signs of desperate people who recognize that they're on the ropes.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we can all take some sort of positive message from.
Yeah, the Overton window is definitely shifting. On my show, we cover a lot of pop culture, and we're seeing, because we were covering, a whole bunch of like all the woke stuff and things like that for a while, and a lot of that's drying up. The Overton window is shifting, and politics is downstream from culture, and so I think we are headed in the right direction. I really do. I feel it, every day I go on Twitter, and we see a lot of crazy stuff. But I see a lot of people going, you know what? I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So I think we're heading the right way, personally.
All right. That's my show. I'm sticking to it. I thank you all for joining me. God willing, tomorrow I will be back, hopefully a little much earlier than I was tonight.
Yeah.
And I thank you, Sin, for joining me. Tell people again where they can find you.
FFS podcast. So it's in the description.
So you
Click
said
it.
3
Follow
S
me.
before. That's why I was like very confused.
Yeah, like I said, I'm
It's
trying
2
not to
Fs.
cuss on your yeah, FFS.
It's 2 S. It's
Yeah.
2 F.
I
2
say
Fs
that
and
a
an
whole
S.
lot. Yeah.
You said FFFS
No,
before.
I think you're hearing things.
Maybe.
You were worried about your hatred towards Native Americans and the cult that you're starting, and you weren't paying attention to me.
Perhaps. And Lord knows Sin needs tons of attention, so please make sure you sign up to him
Yeah.
so that he doesn't get all depressed and sad, because
I would appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, we cover Friday. We're going in on the Hassan situation, and I've got some investigative things that I found out about him and the way he treats animals. So we'll
Really?
be doing that. Yeah.
Oh wow, that sounds interesting. Make sure you guys check that out.
Yep.
I'll try to check that out also. And between now and then, also make sure that the lab meat you remember is not for you. It's for they, them. If anyone offers it, it's just say it's not for me. It's for they, them. No lab meat. And do not eat the bugs. Don't do it. Don't touch it. Don't have anything to do with it. I thank you for joining me. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Till then, take care and Godspeed.
Bye.